The year is 1991. Birds and people are living together in seemingly perfect harmony, until one day a young man catches fire. This is Phoenix.
You've been knocked down and got up again. In a corner, you're surrounded, no defenders. You've hid your fury and kept it in. But it's time now, you ignite and turn to embers. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Get ready for verse 2, Electric Boogaloo.
You see the truth behind the veil, and you know that they're just looking for attention. Oh, you don't let the ruthlessness prevail. Oh, it's time now, light your fires for ascension. Like a phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes. Phoenix, you burst in a fire burn. A thirst and desire, you transform right up in a flash. You spread your wings to rise from the ashes.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to, I was going to say another KNEEJERK stream, but it's actually been quite a while. It's actually been 2 months since we did a KNEEJERK stream. Obviously, I've been streaming in between for like deadlines and stuff like that, but yeah, it's been a long time because of the World Cup, and obviously over Christmas there was a quick turnaround, so we didn't do this, and now we are back. So we're going to talk about how rubbish this week has been so far. First of all, I've got some bad news. First of all. And that is, I don't think I'm going to win FPL this season. I think it's over. I mean, it's been over since about game week 3. Nah, maybe not game week 3. Maybe game week 6. I don't know. Oh my god. Rubbish. At least White will come on for Mitrovic. That's a good one, yeah. Mitrovic, as I tweeted to the official FPL account. So a lot of us, not everyone, but a lot of us didn't get him because he was an injury doubt, right, in game week 17. And he goes and gets 15 points, right? So it was 2 goals, 1 assist, I think. Great score. Then we get him back because we wanted him anyway. And he misses a penalty, finishes on 0. And then last week, captain him. Okay, happy days, he beat Haaland, but he gets his yellow card. So instead of going 9 points in a game against a Chelsea side who were poor, it's 5 points only and no second match. And then this week, he scores a penalty, but doesn't get any points for it. So annoying. And obviously, Saka got the assist removed. Salah, oh my God. Watching, like I said on Twitter, Liverpool, all I can describe that performance against Brighton was absolutely pathetic. It was one of the worst performances I've ever seen from a Liverpool side. It was so bad. I think Saka had one shot the whole game. Really bad. I think taking the hit for De Bruyne will definitely work out in the end, but it's not quite there yet, but it will work out. De Bruyne's got to get 2 points, and the hit's worked out already. I can't. The thing is, I don't think, without repeating myself too much, I don't really want to convince you to keep Salah. It's gonna depend on what other moves you got, isn't it? I'm probably not going to get rid of him this week. I don't know when I'm going to end up getting rid of him. I've blocked myself from getting De Bruyne now as well. I knew I would regret Kepa to Ederson. Saka not getting the assist. Yeah, I got to be honest. I think I'm very surprised they removed that assist. Because as I tweeted to Focal and now look like an absolute idiot, I thought it was a clear assist. And I don't think that was enough of a deflection to not be an assist. I'm not going to worry about it too much. It's 3 points, right? It's not the end of the world. But I was really surprised they removed it. I know people keep saying it's Kulusevski didn't get one. The Kulusevski situation is completely different. That was a clear deflection. Or a clear deflection, right? He wasn't where he was trying to pass the ball. Whereas I think for Saka, the way that FPL usually do it, I was surprised they removed it, but it is what it is. Kepa to Ederson didn't work out as well. I didn't watch the Chelsea game, but he had to make 5 saves, so that kind of tells me that Crystal Palace did okay. So it's a shame he didn't lose the clean sheet, but it is what it is. As someone said to me earlier, Ederson was on 8 points before Bruno Fernandes' goal, which obviously by the rules, as they've come out and said, is a goal. But of course, Rashford's interfering there. Yeah, Saka would have been in bonus as well. Yeah, true. I didn't watch the second half, so I don't know what the bonus situation was like. Yeah, is what it is. Is what it is. It's just one of those weeks, right? So obviously I didn't want Man City to win, but there's ways where obviously Man United win, but Haaland still does well. So Haaland's blanked. So triple captain already looks really bad. But obviously there's a second game, but it looks really bad. Saka's had an assist removed where he might have got bonus. Mitrovic has scored a penalty and not got points for it. Ederson has conceded, and I've taken a -4 to get rid of Kepa, who's gone and got a 10-point. It's just all those things all in 1 week. So obviously all those moves now look completely stupid. Fair enough. I think if you watch the deadline stream, again, I'm not going to be a hindsight merchant here. I was probably always going to do Ederson, but if you watch the deadline stream, when I started doing the transfers bit by bit, I said to myself, I'm going to do the Shaw one anyway. And then when I realised that Cancelo to Ake would just let me do Mount to Fernandes, I didn't actually have to do the goalkeeper transfer. That's when I started thinking about Salah to De Bruyne instead. And obviously right now, I would definitely wish I'd done that. But who knows? Maybe Ederson will work out over the next few weeks. Who knows? I think the funniest thing from the weekend is I've spent half a season getting ridiculed for not captaining Haaland, and now I've triple captained Haaland. Apparently that was a massive mistake as well. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. To be fair, I did say that Man United were not going to get... it wouldn't be another demolition job. I knew Man United would be better, but Haaland was poor, honestly. I think Saka would have been on 26 bonus points. So where would that have put him? That would have put him... Yeah, so he still wouldn't have... he still wouldn't have got any bonus points then. So it is only 3 points. Oh my God, Luca Dean, I forgot about him. Oh my days. I really hate the word troll for FPL players, right? There is just luck. You can just be lucky and unlucky. But Luca Dean is a troll. People got him in because they're like, oh, Emery, better defensively now under Emery, still quite attacking. The fixtures are good, and then he goes and gets injured. Oh, I don't even know what to say. Luca Dean, you're just done, my man. If he hasn't battered Spurs by halftime, we're definitely getting a triple captain blank. Yeah, look, it goes back to I said this. I'll come back onto that question in a minute about Luca Dean. it's like I said earlier on in the season, right? You know when I you haven't forgotten, right? People still remind me now, but you know when I captained Salah and he got like an assist and De Bruyne got like 20, Haaland got like 23 points. I said at the time, absolutely fair enough. Everyone captained Haaland, great pick. But the difference in points I just felt was a bit harsh. And I think it'd be exactly the same if he blanks. Like you can definitely say that before the deadline you thought that Man United would be a hard fixture, Spurs on paper is a difficult fixture as well. Therefore, you don't want to triple captain in because they got Villa at home, Arsenal away in 23. Perfectly fine. But to blank, that would be harsh. That would be harsh. So right now, I haven't seen anyone ask this question, but people usually ask it. What would I take from triple captain right now? I mean, I would absolutely snap your hand off for 11 points. And the reason I came up with 11 is because he's already got 2. And so 9 points is goal, 3 bonus, or goal and assist, no bonus. So I'll take 11 points in total now, I think. Haaland bench because he hasn't scored in 2 games. It's actually... Oh, okay, yeah, sorry. It's actually 3 games. The thing is, right... What the funny thing about Haaland is, this is outside of FPL now. I've seen people starting saying things like, you know what, Man City just not quite good a team without it, with him in the team. And that might be true. Maybe they are better with someone who's a bit more mobile up front that can press better and stuff like that, right? But nobody was saying that when he was banging in 2 goals every week. So let's see what happens. Hat-trick is all I'm taking. Fair enough. I'm on... The points should be coming up on the right-hand side of the screen. It does scroll through. So I'm on 48, but I took an 8-point hit. Who's the best defender option to bring in for Luka Dean? I mean, an Arsenal defender. Still, I guess you don't necessarily want to. Like, I think Man United will score against Arsenal. I think they'll do better than Spurs did today. But Arsenal were brilliant, and I tweeted out that I'm not quite used to Arsenal being good yet. And obviously you get the classic, well, it's just Spurs. But no, it's not just Spurs. It's because Arsenal are really good. But I think Man United will score in that game. But yeah, Arsenal defender is always good. Yeah, Botman's not a bad option, but he might blank in 25, so keep that in mind. Fernandes could save your week. I mean, yeah. So the hit for me, I worked it out earlier. I'm 9 points down on the hit that I took, but obviously... Kepa, Mount and James aren't going to play again this week, and the other player was Cancelo. So if Cancelo doesn't play and Ake does play the second game, I'll feel quite good about that. It's just whether or not they get the clean sheet. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is all ifs, of course. But if Man City get a clean sheet and Fernandes gets an attack in return, I will come out on top for my hit. But I could have got Shaw, Ake and Fernandes in without taking the 4-point hit for Kepa. But look, I still think Ederson's probably a slightly better option in the next few weeks. So let's see what happens. Yeah, Botman's not a bad shout for defender. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, Man City... It's not that I think they're just a bad defence. I'm still not quite sure about who's going to play the most games. Like even with Ake, I'm not completely sure. I think it's a tactical thing. If you saw the match today coverage of the derby, he was in some great positions but never got given the ball. Yeah, I saw a few times where they could have just threaded him through. Like he was off. Like I think almost like probably the goal against West Ham early on in the season. I'm probably not getting double Newcastle defence, even though they are great. So this is my team for next week. It's quite funny because I jokingly tweeted out. It was half joke, half kind of serious because there's a lot of bad fixtures on paper. But I was like, surely when you take an 8-point hit, your team should look better. And I got so many comments saying I need to wildcard. And I think Fernandes was a big part of that. So for him to go and get a goal and bonus points, that really did make me happy. So someone said to me just a minute ago, how are you planning for the Game Week 25 blanks? If you follow Ben Credit, and Ben's the only person I ever talk about during blank and double Game Week season, he would highly recommend not making a transfer this week if you can, because we'll get lots more information after this week because of Carabao Cup and FA Cup and stuff like that. So I don't know if anyone's realised, but we got to the January 2nd deadline, and then there was a bit of time until the next deadline. It was like 13 days because of the FA Cup. We've had Game Week 20, and we're going to have Game Week 21 on Saturday. But the next deadline after that is not until the 3rd of February. So it's 21st of January, and then the next one's the 3rd of February. So you actually get another 2 weeks off. And that's because of FA Cup and Carabao Cup. So we'll get more information. So my plan right now is to not make a transfer. Because I don't think I really need one. Like, of course, you know, if I could have Ederson, De Bruyne, Haaland, I would. And don't get me wrong, Salah was rubbish. And I think Liverpool really need Nunez back. I mean, they need like a whole new midfield as well. But they need Nunez back. Like, he is a big miss. Like, Gakpo, I mean, I wouldn't like say that Gakpo is rubbish. I would just say Liverpool were awful all over the pitch. But they need Nunez to kind of create that chaos. So, look, I could do like Salah to someone else, but who would I even get? Honestly, who would I get right now? Like Almiron, everyone was saying I should have Almiron instead of Salah. He's blanked again. He's finally stopped scoring worldies. Oh, by the way, for that question about Luka Dean, you've just reminded me in the chat. Brighton could be a decent defence to look at. Their fixtures are pretty good, but again, they might blank in game week 25, so just bear that in mind. But someone like Estupiñán seems to be playing most games and pretty attacking as well. I can't get Odegaard in because I've got 3 Arsenal. I do think, depending on how things go over the next couple of weeks, I may get rid of Ben White and get Odegaard in as well. But I can't do it this week. Salah to March. The thing is, if March blanks in 25, I'd rather keep Salah. I know what people think, right? I'm just making excuses to keep hold of Salah. And he has been rubbish. He's not worth the money. I'm not going to captain him. I'm just going to keep captaining Haaland. You know, if Man United get a double in 22, I'll probably... I almost certainly will captain Rashford. I promise you, I'm not trying to sit here and make excuses for him. I was very close to getting De Bruyne instead of Ederson. But I just don't know who I would get. Like, March, yeah, sure, but... I need that money to do something for me straight away. I'm not going to take a hit. So, and by the way, Salah is like as bad as Liverpool have been. Salah is playing a Chelsea side that have defended very badly recently. So I'm probably going to keep hold of Salah. But you knew that already. I'm not going to captain Trippier. No, I'm just going to captain Haaland, almost certainly. I have Bailey, Ramsdale, Tony on my bench. How have you ended up with that? I mean, I only briefly saw Tony's penalty, the way he won it. Looked a little bit lucky. How do I feel about Kepa on 10 points? Well, I mean, obviously, I'd rather have him, right? But it is what it is. Like, I know it's not always easy, but don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here like, oh, I'm really happy that I got rid of Kepa. I'd rather have kept him, but what can I do about it? You know, there's no point in dwelling on it for too long. Even though I'm still slightly bitter about. I'm slightly bitter about McNeil not getting an assist like 4 seasons ago. But apart from that, I don't really hold grudges. Latest on Tony Bound, we don't know anything more, to be honest. Callum Wilson should be pretty good for minutes yet. If Mitrovic is on 0, does a sub come in for him? No. You're being serious as well. No, he played, so he's in. Been the guy off who said Bueno was benched. I did say I couldn't verify that, by the way. And this is a perfect example of why I don't like just telling you everything that comes into my DMs. Like, I've had that before where someone said something to me and I haven't thought it's legit, so I haven't said it. Then it ends up being legit and people say, well, why'd you keep that to yourself? But Bueno's a perfect example of why I don't usually say stuff on stream. Unless I can kind of... I'll never say it's 100% guaranteed, but there's sometimes you get something, you either look at a person, you see the blue tick, you see who's following them, who they're following and stuff, and you can kind of put 2 and 2 together and say they're probably legit. Like Mahrez, for example. Someone messaged me and said Mahrez was starting. That looked pretty legit, but other than that, that's why I don't usually say anything. It's not about keeping it for myself and trying to get an advantage. It's just not wanting to give bad information, you know? Is Mitoma the best budget player now? Mitoma looked great against Liverpool. He caused Trent and that left side so many problems. Yeah, I think Brighton have got loads of good options. March looks good. Mitoma looks good. Ferguson looks pretty good, although was Welbeck injured recently? I feel like he was. Because he came on for Ferguson around the 65th minute, maybe. I feel like Danny Welbeck's been injured. I'm going to look at that up. Because if it is, I don't know if Ferguson will keep playing. Yeah, he's been injured. But then they're playing so well with Ferguson, Mitoma, March. Maybe they'll just keep up with it. Yeah, Brighton could blank in 25 because they play Newcastle, right? Game week 25 is Brighton away to Newcastle. So yeah, there's every chance they'll blank. So you got to think about that. If you want budget players, there's a lot right now. So obviously you got Matoma. Obviously, keep thinking about the blank. You've got Bailey at 4.5. I can't scroll up shape. This is Leon Bailey, 4.5. Southampton away, Leicester at home. Okay, Man City, Arsenal, not great. But if you can bench him most weeks, pretty good. He'll play Everton in 25. 4.5 million, playing really far advanced. Decent. You've also got... I need to change this so you can see it. But you've also got... Gnonto? I don't know. The Leeds guy, right? They got Brentford at home, not Forest away, Man United at home, Everton away, Southampton home, and he's a 5 million forward. Now, interesting, or annoyingly, and I did knee-jerk a bit after seeing him play, I've got 0.7 in the bank, and Greenwood's 4.2, so I can't quite afford him because I've got 4.9 to spend. Nonto, it's pronounced like Noki. Nonto, okay, yeah, Gnonto. That's such an English person way of saying it, isn't it? That's such an English person way of saying it. But there's quite a few, basically. So Gnonto. Any thoughts on that new guy that's just signed for Chelsea? I don't really want to say his name. What price will he come in at? I think he'll be a 7.5 million midfielder. Yeah, I think he'll be a 7.5 million midfielder. I also think there's a chance he'll be straight in the team. Mudryk. Is that how you pronounce it, is it? That's how I would have probably thought you pronounced it. $8 million. I think it'd be 7.5. It's mental. 100 million. Like, I try not to get like too... I try not to think about the transfer fees too much because football's just ridiculous these days. But man, 100 million. I know it's like not all in one go, but still. Crazy. And don't get me wrong, I know, before you say it, Man United paid stupid money for Anthony as well. Completely get it. Completely get it. I'm a Chelsea fan. Apparently, he has to get game time in his contract. I just don't ever believe that players get that in their contract. It would just be a stupid thing to give a player. You're already paying them ridiculous money. Yeah, 88, yeah, but I'm in Ireland, so we use euros. So it's 100 million. Trippier and his bonus points, what a love story. Trippier is just... It's ridiculous. Yeah, I say that as an owner. He's just absolutely... Like, Trippier is another one, right? Don't get me wrong, and I've had him a while now, so it's not like I'm saying this is a bit of non-owner. Great option, okay? Quite attacking, good for bonus because the amount of chance and stuff he creates, stuff like that. He's playing a good team for clean sheets, but the amount of points he's got is getting a bit crazy, right? Do you know what I mean? All those times he came off the pitch just before the other team scored and stuff like that. Like, this is just, I think this is just an example of a player getting like a little bit lucky, little bit. Not massively. He definitely deserves to be like right up there. But it's kind of crazy, the amount of points he's getting. If you've had him since the start, fair enough. Honestly, fair enough. Do you ever go and watch Galway United? I have watched them a few times. I'm actually considering getting a season ticket. Thinking about it. I won't necessarily be able to go to every game. I need to work out whether it's worth it or not. Like how many kind of free games you get or whatever. Compared to just buying the ticket separately. Hoping Stones doesn't start, then I get 6 for Bueno. Yeah, we'll have to see. He didn't deserve 3 bonus points today. He was poor. Yeah, bonus isn't like always a reflection of how the match went, though. It's not always. He has that for not believing in Rashford. What do you mean? Because I didn't triple captain Rashford? Come on. Come on. I live in Galway, yeah. Go to what you can, sell the rest. Yeah, maybe. How long does it usually take for a price reveal? They might do it tomorrow, I guess, Monday. They're probably not working Sunday. Galway is a great county, you're correct. Yeah, Leeds got a new forward as well, yeah. Have to see how much he comes in for. What should I do with Martial? I guess wait and see what happens in the next game against Crystal Palace. I'll be a little bit worried about Martial, honestly. He cannot stay fit. He just can't stay fit. It's not even a if he can stay fit. He just can't. And I honestly think there is a chance that Weghorst becomes... I don't know. Maybe it sounds crazy when you say it out loud, but I think it will get to the point where if Weghorst can get playing how Ten Hag wants him to play, he could be the first choice number 9 at some point, because he won't be able to rely on Martial. And so if Weghorst comes in and plays well, why disrupt that with Martial? So, and I'm not saying go out and sell him. He might start against Palace, do really well, and then you keep him for the Arsenal game. But if you haven't got him, you've got to get rid. I don't think you can bring him in now. And if you've got him, you've got to wait and see, because he is cheap, right? He's not like a player that's holding a lot of your budget. You've got to get rid of. And if he plays in the next game, like Arsenal away is tough. Like, it's really tough. Arsenal could get a clean sheet, but you'd probably be okay playing Martial in that fixture. When's it next week to possibly wildcard? I would wait until we get more blank and double game week info. There's a really good... I'm going to put it in the chat, right? There's a really good podcast from Planet FPL, if you're not following them. Honestly, when it gets to this stage of the season, half of my content, I think, is kind of just passing on knowledge from like people like James and Ben. But I'd highly recommend it. I'm going to link it in Twitter now. Go and follow them on Twitter if you're not already. And just, when you got a bit of time, listen to this podcast. Now, they put it out before Game Week 20, but it doesn't matter. The information is still sound. So I'm going to spam it in the chat. Go and listen to that podcast when you got... Maybe just listen to the rest of this stream first. If you don't want to, fair enough. It's a really good podcast. And James is like... And I think he seems to do so much of it off the top of his head, which is ridiculous. He's got so... He is a Spurs fan, yeah. Maybe don't tweet him today. Big Spurs fan as well. But he goes through like where the blanks and doubles can fall, at what point we're going to get more information. So that is why Ben is saying, try not to make a transfer this week if you can, because after this week we'll have a better idea of who's blanking in 25. But I also think we'll get a better idea of who might blank and when in the future as well. So for wildcard, it's probably the earliest you're probably going to want to wildcard, if you're doing what a lot of other people are going to do, it's probably going to be around game week 29. That'd be the earliest. You might actually go all the way through to like game week 33 or 34. But yeah, you got a few weeks to go yet, I would say. Mitrovic lost you 4k on your ACCA. Here's a question. I'm going to put a poll up, right? And I know it's going to be difficult, right? But try and not vote based on FPL, because obviously if you're a non-Mitrovic owner or you're a Mitrovic owner, you might have a different opinion. Hang on, let me write the poll a sec. Okay. Do you think the penalty should be a retake? Because you could just argue, and I'm not worried about FPL, it's just 2 points, I don't really care. You could just argue that it's Mitrovic's fault, right? He's a professional footballer, he should be able to just hit the ball once with 1 foot. But he obviously hasn't done that on purpose, right? Like when a goalkeeper's off their line and they save, it just gets retaken, etc. I guess they've saved it, so it's a little bit different. But do you think he should get a retake for that? Yeah, that's what I mean. That could be your argument. It's his fault, right? It's his fault. I'm not a Mitrovic owner, but I think he should retake. It happened before. Yeah, I'm not. By the way, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, you know, was it within the rules? It's clearly within the rules. That's why they gave a free kick. So I'm not saying it's wrong to do that. I guess I'm saying, should that be the rule? Terry slips in the Champions League final, should get another go at that. Same thing. Yeah, fair enough. Definitely not. Definitely not. No retaking penalty miss just because it wasn't on purpose. He still did it in the end. What if the pitch was not perfect? So did Gerrard. I know people always hate me saying this, but I kind of wish Gerrard had won the Premier League. No different to a foul throw. If it's his possession, he cocks up. If the keeper's off the line, he gives them an advantage. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. Self-inflicted. Yeah, can fully get behind that. No way to determine it's on purpose or not. I mean, you got to assume it's not on purpose, right? Because why would you do it on purpose when you know it would be a retake? Penalties are too easy to get. Yeah, that's another discussion. I mean, if you look at the penalty conversion, it's like 0.76, right? That's what a penalty is for expected goals. It's 0.76 because they're scored like 76% of the time. A lot of people would say penalties are too easy because often you get a penalty for running away from the goal. No one slips on purpose. The pen. Yeah, I got to be honest. I wasn't watching that game. I've been doing a lot today, right? I didn't watch that game, but I saw people say that penalty shouldn't have been a penalty and that it was a foul on Trippier, but that they should have had a different penalty another time. Is that correct? There also seems to be less penalties given since Howard Webb became chief of VAR. Yeah, unless you're Ivan Toney. I think Ivan Toney's had 4 this year. I think Kane's had 2. Saka's had 1. Salah's had 0. Where's all my penalty takers? I think it's a bit harsh to say Mitrovic was unsportsman-like, to be honest. That is a great question. When do they stop letting Mitrovic take penalties? He's bad at them. I completely agree. I said this after he missed the last one. I said... I also said, so I said this. I said he's not actually a very good penalty taker. And then I said, but he'll still score more than he misses. And then he goes and misses the next one. Oh, my God. Dan, thank you. Glad you appreciate it. It's good to have the knee-jerk streams back. Even though I've had a bad week, it's good to have them back. I just feel like after the brutality and the torture of captaining Salah so much ahead of Haaland early in the season, nothing could be as bad as that. Nothing could be as bad as that. I was worried as a different Fulham player was holding the ball until the last second, then Mitrovic stepped up. Yeah, that seems to be a new thing. That's just so that defenders and goalkeepers can't get in the ear of the penalty taker. Just seems to be like a kind of blocking thing. We've seen that, I think with Chelsea, maybe. Leno could take a better penalty. Haaland could still destroy Spurs. Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, I don't think Haaland necessarily needs to even do that much to come away feeling all right with the triple captain. Like if he gets 1 goal, 3 bonus, and comes away with 10 points, I mean, you'd probably take that at this point. You maybe wouldn't have taken that before, but I think it's okay. I think 2 blanks would really hurt because it's very unlikely that anyone else is going to use their triple captainship and get 2 blanks at any other point in the season. Who wins in a penalty shootout featuring Mitrovic and Zaha? The goalkeeper. Loving the content, helping me get through a mountain of uni work. You got to be doing your work. Someone saw me in Tesco earlier. As they were walking past, they just said, "How many points you got?" It's just a group of like young lads. I was like, about 50. That was a lie. I've got 48. They said they wildcarded. What a mistake that was. Probably a mistake, probably. How can you didn't consider Pope instead of Edison? Pope now hasn't conceded in 11 hours. Just the 2 extra fixtures for Edison, really. The empty hat is Kane's playground. It's annoying. I really wanted Kane to get a yellow card today. A couple of things, right? So Kane... The Spurs have now played 19 games, so Kane can't get suspended unless he gets to 10 yellow cards, and that resets in game week 32, I think. Ward-Prowse is an amazing penalty taker. What was I going to say? Arsenal have Arsenal played? I think Arsenal have played 19 as well now. No, that's not true. Arsenal have only played 18 games. So Saka has to get through the Man United game, otherwise he'll be suspended for game week 22. Either way, Saka is going to be available for game week 23. They do have Tesco in Ireland, yes, and electricity. What was I going to say? So Kane's done now. He's fine. What was the other? Trippier's also okay now as well because they got to 19 games. When are they most likely to announce double game week this week coming? Well, there might not be any double game weeks for a while. Is Gabriel on 4 yellows? Is Ward Prowse actually an option? No, Business Cat was making a joke. He knows my hatred for... I don't hate him as a player. I just don't like him as an FPL option, Ward Prowse. Talk me out a triple Arsenal attack. No need. It's good. Option. Who do I prioritise? Martinelli or Saka? Saka, I think. Explain what qualifies an assist. I guess you're talking about the Saka one, all right? For what it's worth, I think it was an assist, and it's not like owner bias. I think it was an assist. I was very surprised they overturned it. Like, it's not that I just think it was an assist. When I saw the replay, I thought that's definitely an assist. I didn't even think... I even said that to Focal on his tweet. I said, I don't think there is a debate. I think it just is an assist. There's nothing to debate here. So I was really surprised they overturned that. Like, with the... With the Mitrovic thing, I was joking. I had a feeling they would probably just give him minus points because he's had a penalty, he's not scored it, so that makes sense, right? But the Saka one, yeah, weird. Ditch Salah. Is it time to ditch Salah? I guess it depends who you don't have, really. Ake certainly won't be a lock for Spurs. Cancelo played well. Cancelo did play well, but one thing to remember, and something I've learnt from Luke, who's always talking about Man City lineups, is it doesn't necessarily matter if you play well. It's also about kind of tactics for that specific game. The good thing for Cancelo and the annoying thing for people that have sold him is Spurs play a 5 at the back, and I think some of the Man City predictors were saying that's probably good for Cancelo. But yeah, Ake could miss out for sure. And Laporte did get rested, you're right. But, I mean, what does it matter now? Can't change anything. It is owner bonus. No one made the case for Estupinian 2 weeks ago. No idea what you're talking about. No idea what you're talking about. That's not owner bias. That's I've seen this one bias. I was watching the game bias. I don't even know what you're on about with Estupinian. You find me a video, I'll look at it right now. I should really sell Salah because even if he scores, I'll be happy because I'm a Liverpool fan. Yeah? Did Foden tomorrow's for a hit? What do you think now in retrospect? Yeah, I did say I wouldn't do that. I mean, it looks... I guess it doesn't look great because neither of them have done anything, but we'll see in the next game, I guess. Could you shout out my wife Nicola, who thinks you can't be from Galway because you have an English accent? I'm not from Galway, but you are allowed to move places, Nicola. You're allowed to move places. So if you're born somewhere, they take you out of the hospital, go somewhere else, you live there. But if you don't live there anymore, you can go and live somewhere else. The Spurs cat will be a concern. Could allow us Ake if Lewis starts. But Cancelo had his best game for a while. Yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. Like, to me, it doesn't matter that it was a deflected cross. The deflection was not enough for me to take it away. That's all. Is that a thing? Damn, I thought I had to stay here. You do. You can even move country. Although, you know, if you're from the UK and Brexit, maybe it's a lot harder to move countries now. I don't know. But if you want to go to Ireland, it's pretty easy. Probably shouldn't bring up Brexit. Although I will tell you one really bad thing about Brexit. Actually, no, it's not even a Brexit thing. Actually, it's more an EU thing. Anyway, I'm not getting into Brexit and EU. Just start saying top of the morning to you. No one says that. Bacon or sausage sandwich? I've actually just had a bacon sandwich, but I would take sausage out of the two. Someone's kid's going to open the door and wander off somewhere because of you. No, I don't mean you can just go on a whim, you know. I'm just saying you can. Who's your favourite American football team? American football. I've got no interest, I'm afraid. Have I tried Jollof? Rice? Don't think so. I'm staying in Galway this summer. Any activity recommendations? I'm really bad for that. Go to Salt Hill. Jump off of Black Rock. If you can swim. If you can't swim, don't do that. £20 on the title race. Who are you putting it on? Let me have a look at the table. Do I have to say Arsenal? Man City 8 points behind, but there's still more than half a season to go. More than half season, just because both of them are on 18 points. I think I would... Do you know what I would say? Right? I would say, can I hold off on putting that bet on until Man United have played Arsenal? Because if Man United beat Arsenal and Man City beat Wolves, then suddenly it looks a lot different straight. There's only 5 points in it then, and that's easily catchable in the second half of the season. I don't know. I think I would put my money on Arsenal, but I wouldn't put much on it. I wouldn't be that confident just yet. I just think it's very easy to just flip. They've been brilliant, Arsenal. I've got nothing bad to say about Arsenal at all, but Man City have been in these situations before. They're a great team, and I just wouldn't put that much money on it. That's what I'm saying. Don't go putting your life savings on Arsenal to win the league. I'm just looking up their XG numbers here. So Man City expected goals per 90 1.89, Arsenal 1.8. They've just been great. So this is not a fluke right now. And then defensively, Man City 0.69 expected goals conceded, Arsenal 0.75. Arsenal are just great. And if they can keep up those numbers, they got every chance to win in the league. Every chance. But Arsenal, because of no European competitions, are they not in Europe at all? Oh yeah, hang on. Are they out of Europe? Am I being really stupid here? Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're in the Europa League, right? Okay, great. Because I just looked up and they finished 5th last year, just to make sure. Yeah, because they're in Europa League. Oh, you skipped the round of 32. Okay. Yeah, fine, but you're still in it, right? You're still going to have European games soon. Okay. Yeah, obviously injuries could affect Arsenal, but they've got an injury to Jesus right now, and Nketiah's absolutely smashing it. I think you can say that about a lot of teams. I know Man City got a lot of strength and depth, but still. Salah has lost a penalty a week and now he's done. He didn't get that many. Yeah, fair play for anyone that triple captained Rashford. Amazing. There's still a chance that Haaland outscores him, but honestly, I wouldn't even worry about it now. You've got your points in the more difficult game. Happy days. Points on the board. 10 points as well. Like, 10 points is basically the most I've ever had from a triple captain, so you're already in great nick. Who will win between Liverpool and Chelsea next week? Could be a draw, you know. I'll say Liverpool. Mudryk will almost certainly be a midfielder, 7.5, I would guess. I don't think they'll put 8. I have been answering super chats. Yeah, sorry, I just missed those last two. Yeah, Vitas, Ramsdale, Bailey, Janssen, White. 41 points on your bench must be a record. I suspect people have had worse benches than that, but yours is very realistic. I don't know which goalkeeper you've got that's making you bench Ramsdale, to be fair, but benching Ben White is probably okay. Bailey's just like your 4.5 million midfielder. Janssen as well. That's like, at least that's a legit bench. Why aren't you considering United? 1 point behind City. What for the title? Come on now. And this is why I want to wait till Arsenal play Man United. If Man United beat Arsenal, that would put them how many points behind? 6. But the problem is, right, and you know me, I love the underlying numbers. I mean, Man United's defence is improving quite a bit. It's pretty good. They're not quite there with the attack yet. They're in 5th behind Newcastle, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United. But again, getting better. I think the problem with Man United is you need Martial to play, and he's never fit. And so then you're relying on Weghorst. If Man United can get Kane this window, that's not happening. I know this is hindsight, but we should talk more on stream about home versus away fixtures. That was the main reason I triple captained Rashford. Yeah, but he's got one away game as well. Just like Haaland's got one home game. He just hasn't played it yet. There is home advantage. It's not necessarily always the be-all and end-all for making your decisions, but yeah, for sure you should consider home and away. Weghorst would be 6.5, I suspect. Maybe 7 at the most. That'd be it. Yeah, I mean, Man United obviously beat Arsenal in the first fixture this season. But honestly, Arsenal could have definitely scored more goals in that one, and on another day won it. So Man United could do it less than. Is there a way to check XG stats for last 6 games instead of season? So I would use Fantasy Football Scout for that. That's what I would use. I should say I have been sponsored by them in the past. I haven't been sponsored for a while. It's just a website that I actually use, and you can filter certain game weeks. Excuse me. Nice punt on Fernandes. It got a bit lucky, obviously, with the goal, but also because I was quite tempted to not get rid of Cancelo and just get Anthony instead. And obviously Anthony didn't start, so that was. I mean, I don't think that was lucky. I think the goal was lucky, but I don't think the decision to go for Fernandes over Anthony was that bad, because Fernandes 90 minutes, right? I love that message there. Hang on, the one I just saw there. You are one of the worst Man United fans. Shaking my head, Gary. Can you just imagine Gary sitting there doing this? Andy, worst Man United fan. He's watching this stream. Worst Man United fan. Worst Man United fan. Yeah, FB Ref's good as well. Man United beat Crystal Palace midweek and then Arsenal, they'll only be 3. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, sorry. I forgot they got another game. My bad. You're right. 3 points behind. That'd be amazing. Yeah, they go above Man City, but obviously they would play the game more. I don't watch GAA. I don't really regret getting rid of Cancelo, to be honest. Like, he hasn't been playing. He hasn't been playing, so if he's back in the team now, fair enough. But I just don't think at this point in time I need a defender that costs that much. Feels like Man United are going very solid till the finish will only improve. Yeah, there's definitely been improvement there. They're playing really well. I love Erik ten Hag. He's amazing. I hear about Ramsdale being attacked by a Spurs fan. I saw it on Twitter, yeah. So I watched like the first 40 minutes of the match, something like that. And then I had to go out because my son was playing in a match. So I was watching that. That's why so I know it's been a while since we did these knee-jerk streams, but I usually do them at 8 o'clock on a Sunday. But I couldn't start till this late because I was watching that. So I saw it on Twitter. Tony or Mitrovic? I think with the fixtures, you'd probably go Tony right now. But if you had Mitrovic, I don't think I would sell him. I will say this. Tony's a much better penalty taker than Mitrovic. Top 4 predictions. Arsenal, City, Man United. I think they will get it. I guess Newcastle right up there. I find it really hard with teams like Newcastle because you know they're playing so well right now. The numbers are looking good, but there's always that thing in your back of mind. Can they keep it up? Can they keep it up? But then if not, it means Liverpool have got to gain 10 points. They've got a game in hand, though. 10 points on Newcastle, and that Newcastle team look good. Same with Chelsea. Like, Chelsea and Liverpool are going to find it tough to get top 4 at this point. So then it's down to Spurs, and maybe Spurs will get it. He didn't get any attacking returns. No, they lost, but they were playing a team a year above, so. Will you do a video on best long-term picks for 25-28? I probably will do something about doubles and blanks, but I will probably wait until after this week. I don't know. I guess I'll have to try and do something on it this week, but we're going to get much more information next week. Robin, you love the live streams. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Ramsdale kind of bought it on himself, kissing the badge and lip shushing, baiting the Spurs fans. Yeah, that does sound like Ramsdale. Who is the hot topic player to bring in for next game? I think a lot of people are talking about Brighton players. It's funny that people say Man United could be in the title race and then say they're not sure if United will stay in the top 4. Yeah, look, part of it is just past experience, right? You picture Man United as this team that it hasn't been for a while, of course, but you still picture them as this team that can fight for stuff, whereas Newcastle can't. I agree, Newcastle. I'm really not saying they're not. I think Newcastle have been brilliant. Like, I certainly wouldn't put any money on Liverpool and Chelsea finishing ahead of Newcastle right now, for example. But to finish top 4, obviously they've got to get ahead of one of United or Spurs. They've got a great chance because as it stands right now, and it could change in the next 10 games. Who knows? They've only got to beat one other team out of Man United and Spurs, because Fulham and Brighton really good, but you wouldn't expect them to keep it up, right? Not to the level where they'd be competing for top 4. They might be competing for European places, but probably not too much more than that. Same for Brentford. So they got a great chance. I think the way the league is right now, best chance in a long time for Newcastle to get top 4, and Arsenal, great chance to win the league. United and Arsenal had seasons without Europe, and that helped them. Chelsea needed to build next season. We'll be back. Yeah, look, I would have faith in Potter. You've got to give him some time. Yeah, no, I know they are ahead of United and Spurs now. I'm just saying that's what they've got. That's probably, as it stands right now, all they've got to do is finish above one of those two. Finish, not now. You don't get European places after 19 games. Bruno got injured today. I saw that. Didn't he carry on, though, for a while? Look, I'm really not. Relax. I'm really not saying bad things about Newcastle. I think it's perfectly okay to maybe speculate a little bit that they may not, might not definitely won't, might not finish top 4. There is a chance they won't finish top 4. That's what I'm saying. But right now, you probably give it to them. I think Man United will finish ahead of them, though. Just saying. I do hate you. I always diss them. I'm not dissing them. They're literally brilliant. Okay, less than tears. Fair enough. I'm not doubting them. How many times have we been there before where a team gets set, oh, this team's going to win the league. Yeah, no, it's done. 18, 19 games, absolutely done. And guess what? By the end of the season, that's not what happens. But Chelsea, Newcastle are a lot better than Chelsea, Spurs, Liverpool. Yeah, I've just said that I don't think right now Chelsea and Liverpool got much chance of catching them. I've just said that. So then it's Spurs. Yeah, agree. Newcastle probably are better than them right now. But let's not write off a team that's got Harry Kane there. And they're on the same amount of games. They're only 5 points behind. That's 5 points in another half season. We've got another half of the season to go. Thoughts about Patterson? Not a lot, really. Probably get rid of him if you can, but no rush. The podcast account on Twitter was Planet FPL. I'll put it in the chat again. You can just search Planet FPL. How am I doing generally? Oh, hang on. Let me link I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm doing good. Lots of people asking about diet and exercise and stuff. I would say yes, I am still doing it. But it could be going better, that's for sure. People in the chat literally blow everything you say out of proportion. I mean, it's football, right? So people have got strong opinions. I get it. But I feel like sometimes people do hear... So like it's not like I'm sitting here saying... Now, Newcastle will never keep this up. They won't even get European play. I'm not. I'm just saying there is a chance they might finish, say, 5th instead of 4th. That's all I'm saying. And we're on a rotation risk now that Isak is in. Possibly. I think he will have his minutes reduced now, for sure. Because he got lots of good options. Mark, what's my end of season rank aim? I don't want to aim too low too early. But if I look at live FPL, what's the time, by the way? I'm going to have to shoot off soon. If we look at live FPL, I'm only 80. I mean, I say only, right? It's quite a lot, but I'm 90. It would really help to have a good triple captain. So if Haaland could just score a hat-trick, that would really help me. But I'm 96 points off top 10k. I don't know if I should completely forget that as an aim right now, but I think top 50k, 69 points. I think that's doable. I think it's doable. Is it time to move away from Almiron? I wouldn't necessarily rush to do it. I still think he's a perfectly fine option for his price. I think he was always going to not continue scoring worldies, and probably his points would reduce a little bit. But I think for his price, there's not too... Like, you could go to a Brighton player, but there's absolutely no rush to do that, I don't think. I do think that... I do think he'll see less minutes now Isak is back. Because St. Maximin can play Callum Wilson, Almiron, and Isak. You kind of got 4 players for 3 spots. Obviously, Wilson's going to play as number 9 most of the time. So I think it's a bit of an issue. Yeah, if you could get to an Arsenal player, great. John, thanks for talking me down from a -8 on a deadline shoot. I wish you'd done the same thing for me. Well, I'm glad it went well. Cheeseburgers or hot dogs? I think cheeseburgers. Sonny March, is it the ultimate knee-jerk or is he just a really good option? Was already thinking of bringing him in before this game week and I don't want to be late on the Brighton train. So with someone like March, right, this is where I think expected data is good. Now, it's not that easy because I think it is a bit of a positional change as well. But because I agree, right, Sonny March has looked good. I think he looked really good against Liverpool, but he's just looked good over the last few games. But sometimes your eyes can play tricks on you, right? Because a player might look good. Like Mitoma, for example, looked good and caused a lot of issues, but that didn't necessarily always translate into really good quality shots and assists and stuff. But Solly March is on 0.38 expected goal involvement per 90. Which is pretty good for his price. He's 5 million. So I think March is a perfectly good option. But if you're playing him every week and you're only on like a 3-4-3, that means March is one of your 4 midfielders. And I would argue there's probably 4 better midfielders. If you're talking about a player that you can have on the bench and use when you need to, that's a bit different. But if you're playing him every week, that's why I didn't go for Almiron early on. And obviously it hasn't worked out massively. Like Salah, for example, has been awful, etc. But it wasn't that Almiron was a bad option. I just felt that there was better midfield options. Obviously, some people went for Almiron so they could go for 3 premiums, etc. Perfectly fine. So I'm kind of the same with March. I think for his price, he is good, but there's also a lot of midfielders right now. Like you could easily triple up on the Arsenal midfield, for example. Sonny March is Almiron Mark 2. Years of mediocrity followed by an unexpected purple patch. Possibly, yeah. What's your take on some fans in football who let the emotions take a violent turn? Feels really scary. More and more incidents like tonight coming out nowadays. Yeah, look, I think it's not even like a stadium thing. I was thinking about this earlier. I don't know what it is, but like football's like a very emotional sport game, whatever. And but people just take it too far. Like, they just take it way too far. But it is like a minority thing. So you see those incidents because obviously when they happen, it's just horrible. And it gets talked about a lot. You don't see the other however many fans in the stadium that weren't like that whatsoever. Like you see it all the time. Like when you see it sometimes on TV, a player's like taking a throw and you've got all those people behind them just like throwing signs up and like it's just a bit over the top, isn't it? But it obviously gets taken too far sometimes. But it is just a minority. But it's not even just at stadiums, right? Like if you've ever been to watch a game in a pub or something, it can be the same for that, depending on like the pub or whatever. I'm not saying, look, I haven't seen the whole Ramsdale thing, so if he was giving it to them and winding them up, you know, I wouldn't say he deserves to be assaulted, essentially. But yeah, okay, maybe they're giving it back. Maybe that's fair, but I'm just talking about more general. All right, I'm going to go because it's 10 to 10 and I've been going like an hour, but that has flown by. That was very enjoyable. Hope you enjoyed it as well. Make sure to give it a like if you did. Hit that subscribe button as well. Be much appreciated. Obviously, we'll talk loads more. I'll do loads more videos this week on different players and stuff that I'm looking at, etc. Game week preview, team selection, all that good stuff. So yeah, any information we get, I will follow that on. Players with 4 yellow cards that can be suspended game week 22 if they get another yellow. Gabriel, Saliba, Saka, McAllister. I don't know about McAllister. Fred, Casemiro won't be good. Hey, look, I'm not. Look, if he's winding people up, fair enough. But there's still a line you don't cross, right? Anyway, probably not the great time to get into it, especially if you're a Spurs fan or anything. So I'll leave it there. Thank you very much. Give it a like. Hit subscribe. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I'll catch you again soon.